Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is ForbesLife editor, Michael Solomon. Michael, I appreciate you coming on.
Good to be here.
As you know, Forbes published a piece on America's most eligible billionaires. Before we get into the list, let's define what is an eligible billionaire.
So we decided to have a little fun for Valentine's Day. As Valentine's Day was approaching, we thought, what can we do with the billionaires list? Obviously, we are tracking and ranking billionaires all year long, real-time billionaires, values all across the board. And this year we decided to look at couples, and we thought, we'll look at some of the wealthiest couples in the world. And it quickly emerged that we wanted to focus on single billionaires, billionaires who might be looking for love for Valentine's Day. Not that we have checked in with any of them, not that any of them said to us, can you find me someone? Can you launch OK Cupidity for people who are looking for wealthy people? But we thought, let's have a little fun and talk about who some of the single billionaires that are out there are. And we focus specifically on American billionaires this year. And then in terms of what makes them eligible, we'll talk a little bit about how we did that. One of the criteria we looked at was we didn't want people who were recently widowed. We thought that was inappropriate, so we wanted to put some time between them. People who are divorced, that's fine, but we also wanted to make it clear they might be recently divorced. They may not be on the market necessarily. People who have had more than 75 candles on their birthday cake, perhaps we don't need to fix them up. Maybe they've seen a little too much. But we came up with a fun list of about 10 billionaires. And we thought these are people who are a catch, not because they're wealthy, but because they have really interesting lives.
I love this. Forbes is potentially playing matchmaker here. So are these billionaires perpetually single? Are they looking for love? What's their status?
There's not necessarily one answer to that. Some are habitual divorcees. Some have loved and lost several times. Some are widows, widowers. Some are eternal bachelors, bachelorettes. So, for instance, someone like Elon Musk has been married 3 times, twice to the same woman. He has 10 children and counting. But this is what you might expect from a man who named his first 4 Teslas S3XY. Think about that. It's kind of a sophomoric teenage boy calculator joke, but it spells sexy if you need me to do the work for you. So he's got that on his mind, clearly. But listen, Elon says he's looking for love. Elon says he's not happy if he doesn't find love. The question you have to ask, of course, with Elon is, how would you like to live on Mars?
For me, not so much, but I do want to talk about Elon Musk. He's the current Twitter CEO. A former CEO of Twitter also made the list, Jack Dorsey. What's in the water at Twitter? Why is it so impossible for the heads of it to find love?
Well, look, Jack Dorsey was on this list when we did it a decade ago in 2013. Dorsey had just, was only the Twitter CEO at the time and a Twitter co-founder. He now, of course, has another company as Block, which many people knew as Square. So he's a busy guy. He has been in relationships over the years. A lot of these people are serial monogamists, right? As many of us were back in the day. A lot of the single billionaires are people who have been in relationships for 2, 3, 5 years at a time. Maybe they were in a long-term relationship and they get out of it. Jack Dorsey is someone who's always been dating but has never settled down.
Aside from serial monogamists, are there any other trends you're seeing on this list?
Well, you do see the people who have been divorced are still looking to get back in the game. I think about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, 3 divorces, obviously most recently to Kanye West. Complicated divorce, to say the least. So she's got her hands full, but she's still out there looking for love. I call her a hopeful romantic, that she's still trying to find the one. I think a lot of people were really hoping she would end up with Pete Davidson. It seemed like a kind of, an odd couple to people. And yet I think when people watched them together and saw them together, they thought, actually, that's a pretty great couple. I think people were disappointed when they broke up. What Kim Kardashian says now is she's looking for a man with brains. No disrespect to Pete Davidson, I'm sure. She still speaks very highly. But she says, I think I want a guy with brains. Everything I've been doing up until now clearly hasn't been working.
For these billionaires on the list, like Kim Kardashian, that have gotten divorced, What has that done to their net worths? Has it impacted them positively, negatively?
Well, look at Kim Kardashian versus Kanye West, right? She's still a billionaire. He is not. So sometimes divorce can affect your net worth. Obviously, Jeff Bezos went through a very high-profile divorce. MacKenzie Scott, his ex-wife, is on the list this year. She is also recently divorced. She got married after the divorce from Jeff Bezos, and this is someone who was not necessarily looking for money. When billionaires marry, they tend to marry people who are financially secure, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. They want to make sure someone's not after them for her money, for his money. Mackenzie Scott married a science teacher at her children's school, which everyone thought, oh, that's lovely. That looks like she's going for love, not money. Sadly, they got divorced in January. Their divorce was finalized in January. But listen, she has taken the money from her divorce with Jeff Bezos and done extraordinary things with that. Her philanthropy work is remarkable. She has given away, I think, around $14 billion since her divorce settlement, and she's still doing just fine. She's got tens of billions of dollars left.
Is she the most philanthropic on the list?
She is the most philanthropic. Another obviously philanthropic there are several philanthropic people on the list. Melinda French Gates, Bill Gates' ex-wife, is on the list as well. She still, of course, has the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is the largest private charity in the world. Again, remarkable philanthropic work that even though they are not married, they are still committed to doing their philanthropic work. And as Melinda French Gates said in her book, that love is the most important thing in the world. And who's going to argue?
That's a beautiful sentiment. Obviously, generosity is a positive here, but any red flags you saw on the list?
So, I mean, it depends what your idea of a red. For some people, having several divorces would be a red flag. For other people, having many children by many different women would be a red flag. It's not necessarily a red flag for everybody. One of my favorite people on the list is Nicholas Berggruen, who's a 61-year-old billionaire, who about 20 years ago was known as the homeless billionaire. And what that meant is that he basically decided he didn't want to own any property anymore. And he sold his luxurious apartments in New York and Miami and decided to just live out of luxury hotels for the next few years. I think there are a lot of people who would sign up for that right now, to live this peripatetic life and just be jetting all over the world and stay in posh hotels. Sounds pretty good. He has somewhat settled down. He does have some children now. He is not married. And he does own several homes. So he's once again back in the real estate game. He has some beautiful homes around the world.
Jet setting like that certainly doesn't sound like a bad way to live. Is he the richest single?
He is not. Elon Musk is, of course, Elon Musk, number 2 in the world. And, listen, he can show up in a Tesla. He can show up with a rocket ship. How would you like to travel with Elon Musk?
Rocket ship doesn't sound so bad, but Forbes has done lists similar to this in the past. Are there any differences from this year's versus previous ones?
Well, we've never tried to have so much fun with this. And again, we really meant this in the spirit of fun. We really are not looking to play matchmaker here. We are not looking to set people up with we're not looking to make love connections here. But we do want to point out that just because you're one of the wealthiest people in the world doesn't mean you're lucky in love. Rich people have the same problems that poor people have when it comes to love. Everybody is just trying to find their way once in life and get it right.
They seemingly have it all, but obviously they don't. They're falling flat in the love department. So what do you think this group is missing?
Well, look, this group is obviously type A+, right? I mean, these people are so driven. And some of them put all their efforts into their careers. Some of them put all their efforts in their philanthropy work. Some of them were married to each other and no longer make it work, and they are looking for a new way. Mackenzie Scott, before she was married to Jeff Bezos, she was a novelist. She is a novelist. So in addition to her philanthropy work, she's a writer. She's going to focus on that.
Michael Solomon, thank you so much.
Thank you.